Here we go then with game 5 of this leg of the second leg of the Asia Rugby 7 series. It'll be Sri Lanka. Came second last weekend, took second place, got themselves to the cup, losing to Hong Kong against Singapore, who took out 6th spot, keeping Japan to a 7-0 win for 6th spot. Impressive stuff by the Singaporeans last weekend. And up here against Sri Lanka, who were red hot 3 weeks ago. Sri Lanka with a couple of changes from the squad 3 weeks ago. Richard Dhamapala, number 6, coming in, and Kachana Ramanayaka at number 7 coming in. And keep your eye out. Here's our referee Suguru Kamamuta from Japan. Keep your eyes out, of course, for they've got danger men everywhere, but Danushka Ranjan, number 8, scored 4 tries last week, 3 weeks ago. Batted back in a huge volleyball style, and some off the ball argy-bargy there by Gunaratne. Just doing the shoulder shove there, which you can do in soccer, but not rugby. So Kunasigaran, with his big bet left boot of his, gets Singapore out of trouble for a little bit. Please tweet us at Asia Rugby if you'd like to send a message or make any comments about your team, your players, or the tournament. We'd love to hear from you. Here goes Singapore now through Zaki. Ranjan comes up quick. Oh, great fend. Good footwork coming in from Samuel Teo, back in the squad. 4 changes to the Hong Kong squad. Some through injury. Daniel Chow, the veteran, noticeably missing. But Samuel Teo back in for his first run out of the series with a great fend there. Kunasigaran peels off a good 45-50 metres. That's a huge kick. He's got a lovely left boot on him, and that puts them right on attack now with a chance within 2 minutes. With Daniel Chow missing, who's going to be the go-to man in the line-out for Singapore? Good to see Brian Ung out there as well. Got a massive concussion in Hong Kong. He's obviously over that. Here they go now, taken off the top nicely by Zaki. Nicholas Yao. It's good defence from Sri Lankans coming in. Zaki again. Tries to scurry himself a couple of metres, but you can't do that because he was held onto. Sri Lankans now, we know they can attack from anywhere. Look at the turn of speed there from Pereira. Big shoulder comes in from Ramanayaka. His first appearance in the series. That's great vision from Teng. Showed some good speed, but Ranjan, sorry, it was Radwati that managed to get back there and save that one for Sri Lanka, and they've earned a penalty. Quickly taken. Look at this, back on the inside. It's Surya Bandara for his first run out in the series. Tracking back nicely was Teng. Takes him low, and that's good covering by Singapore, but now they've got to stretch it wide. Back off the left foot goes Pereira. He's a rangy runner. Here's Ranjan. Can he put something on? Usually he does, and that's what he does. Magical stuff. Wonderful player to watch. And he gets the first score of the day for Sri Lanka.
스리랑카의 등번호 8번 바누슈카 란잔 선수가 트레이닝에 5점을 득점했습니다.
He's all class, Ranjan. Just calm as you like, puts on a bit of goose and perhaps a feeble attempt in the end as a tackle, but he's one of the stars of the series. Yep. The kick is a beauty down the middle, so 7-0 Sri Lanka over Singapore. Sri Lanka in Pool B with China, Singapore and Malaysia. That's deep, that's high. Chong is under it, Ting, sorry. And he's made an unforced error there in his own 22. And he gives a little wave of, sorry boys. The sun at his back, so no sun in his eyes. You just don't want to give Sri Lanka a scrum from a restart in your own 22. It's just asking for trouble. This is Pereira to Ranjan. Can he put Pereira away? Can he reach out? Yes, he can. It's a try to Kavindu Pereira. A quick second try to Sri Lanka there. That's what happens when you make a little error like that from a restart. This time Ranjan the provider. See, another good looking conversion, but it's away to the right. So 12-0. Everybody's missed that one. Ting does a couple of forward rolls and gets them a penalty. Sydney Kumar. Kunasegaran. Singapore trying to play some rugby. Not rolling away. Here goes Kunasegaran. Nice little one-handed pass, but it was forward. But they went back 10. Referee Karamuta looked like he was reaching to the pocket there. But here come Singapore finally out of their own half as Nicholas Yao sets off Zaki down the left-hand flank. Puts in a little chip and it goes off the legs of Surya Bandara, and good enterprising stuff from Singapore to end the half, but they're down 12-0. Sri Lanka just warming into their work here.
Sri Lanka leading Singapore with a score to 12-0.
방금 끝난 전반전은 스리랑카 팀이 싱가포르 팀에 1-0으로 앞서
12-0 half time. Here's the second seeds, Sri Lanka warm up into their work. They'll have Malaysia at 2:44 local time, and then they'll face China in the battle of the top 2 seeds for their pool at 6 p.m. local time tonight. Here goes Ranjan. Looking forward to seeing him in action over the weekend. Sri Lanka missing Disanayaka, who also scored 4 tries last weekend. He's not here this weekend. 3 new players coming into the squad. And we'll be in Sri Lanka in 3 weeks' time for the Colombo Sevens. Looking forward to that. Sri Lankan women not making this weekend's tournament, and South Korea taking their place. It's going to be a number 2 from Naresh Kunasegaran. Yes, number 2. What does that mean? Let's see. Is it going to be the classic 10 metre? It is. That's a beauty. But up high goes Ramanayaka. Takes that well. And Singapore keep him up and hustle him across the sideline. Good defence from Singapore. Ramanayaka tried to come to ground. He was accosted. On the 10 metre then. Singapore trying to get their way into this game. Tang with a wide one to Kunasegaran and Samuel Teo, number 5. Had a good run in the first half. He wants to see more ball in his hands. And it's been dropped cold again by Tang. That's a second stone cold unforced error. He'll be cross with himself. Another injury to Singapore. He had his eyes up, as always is the case. Drilled into kids at a young age, but still the temptation just to look up and see how the defensive line's coming at you. It's just too much. China, Malaysia will be next, followed by Hong Kong, Chinese Taipei, and South Korea versus Japan. Closing out the first round of men's matches. It doesn't look good. Doesn't look too bad. He's walking. Sri Lanka right on halfway. A quick heel and it's back to Dharmapala. This is the rangy Kavindu Pereira. Scored one nice try already. A low one to Dayan. Ranjan. This is Ratwate. Puts on the footwork, puts on the big fend, and Ishraf is just clutching at straws. As Sri Lanka go in for their 3rd try. That was nicely finished. Good class from Tarinder Ratwate. And again, it's Ranjan that delivers. It's a very good fend and a good finish from the big man. Ishraf going high and getting one square in the chest. It's a battle of who has the longer arms. The conversion's off the post from out wide. So 17 points to 0. Singapore now giving it some space, but Surya Bandera comes up and clobbers him and forces the ball out, and try number 4 to under Pangoda.
Has scored the try and scored 5 points.
스리랑카의 등번호 11번 스리나스 소리 야만다라 선수가 플레이 성공에 5점을 득점했습니다.
Surya Bandera with the big hit, gets up to his feet. Good industrious work from the Sri Lankan flyer. Back in the squad. Missed out on Hong Kong 3 weeks ago. Just talking to some of the players earlier, they love playing on this grass here after the artificial track at Hong Kong Football Club 3 weeks ago. There's an overall preference for grass. Up goes Nicholas Yao, but he gets interfered with. Here goes Ting. Gives a lazy one back on the inside. This is good support play. Yao could have given that, decided to hold. There's a contest here for the ball. But coming in an offside line with the Sri Lankans, so that's better from Singapore. I've tried to be positive with the ball in hand. One more pass there and they look like they might have been away, but Yao decided to hold on to it.
여러분께 안내 말씀드립니다. 오늘 경기가 종료된 후 경품 행사가 있을 예정이오니 모두 자리에 함께해 주시기 바랍니다. 오늘 경기가 종료된 후 경품 행사가 있을 예정이니 자리에 함께해 주시기 바랍니다.
Kunasagaran on the ball, gets accosted by Sashan Ibrahim Sahib. And look at that, it's going nowhere. But it pops out all of a sudden and now there's an overlap. Can Singapore work it? Yao, show and go. Takes on the try scorer and beautifully finished by Nicholas Yao. That is impressive stuff. Looked like it was caught up in a maul. Ting gives the delayed pass. Yao gets a worm burner. And a great fend in the chest of Surya Bandara, who can't get him before the try line. And good work, Singapore. They're on the board. Their campaign is open in leg 2. A wobbly old kick from Kunasagaran and it hits the post, so they stay on 5 and Sri Lanka have 22. As I'm joined in the commentary box by 2 cans of local beverage and 2 polystyrene trays full of local food. Thanks very much. Kunasagaran with the deep one this time. That's not a number 2 this time. Taking it over the shoulders, Richard Dhamapala. Look at this from Sri Lanka. A great breakout from their own line, and again it's the try scorer bursting through. Surya Bandera gets chased by Brian Ung, but puts the chip in, and that Wonderful try from Sri Lanka. You won't see better.
Number 7, Sanchana Ramanayaka, has scored a try and scored 5 points.
스리랑카의
In full flight, they are a great team to watch, Sri Lanka.
스페인의 5점을 득점했습니다.
And that's how they found themselves in the cup final 3 weeks ago, beating South Korea in the semi-final. There's a bit of Pacific Island about the way they play. They love to throw the ball about. They're athletes, they're physical, they've got great skills, and it's half time. It's 27 points to 5, Sri Lanka ahead.
This game has finished now. Sri Lanka defeated Singapore.
본 경기가 방금 종료됐으며 스리랑카 팀이 싱가포르 팀을 이겼습니다.
It's game over.
Next game will start at 12:50.
Sri Lanka 22,
and
Singapore 5.
다음
Next game between China and Malaysia will start at 12:50.
다음 경기는 중국과 말레이시아의 경기로 12시 50분에 시작됩니다.